So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. And I'm about to reach 40,000 subscriber very soon. So make sure to please subscribe my channel below if you haven't subscribed it yet. And thank you for all your support, your love, your affection towards my work and towards my YouTube channel. So let's continue our journey, our series of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And I've already covered the first house and the second house, like planets through first house and second house. And in this particular video, I'm going to start a new series of planets through third house of your D-9 Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And what are going to be the results that are associated with the third house, we are going to understand in this video. And the very first planet that I'm going to start with is planet Saturn. So first of all, before understanding how Saturn is going to behave in your third house of your D9 Navamsa chart, you need to have the basic understandings. Like what are the results that are actually associated and controlled by the third house, and how to actually study some planet sitting in the third house. First of all, this house is the representation of the skill set which is present inside you. Now, you might going to be born and brought up with certain kind of a talent, or there are going to be certain skills that you are going to acquire with the passage of time. So third house is actually the combination of both skill and talent. And maybe after getting married, with the help of your spouse or with your life partner, you are actually going to identify the skill which is present inside you. But this is your hidden talent, which you might going to discover in the later stages of your life. Have you seen many individuals, they like in the initial stages of their life in their career, like up to the age of 30, 32, they are doing something different, and then later on they like totally change their profession, become a spiritual people, consultant, astrologer, or maybe converting from financial industry into some real estate industry, and then they find their passion over there. In the initial stages, they are working very hard towards something. And in the later stages, even at the age of 50, 60, they are building their businesses also. So this is actually the third house. Although this house is going to mature in the more later stages with specifically Saturn placement in it. But mark my words, the age of 35 or 36, this is eventually going to be the major turning point that you are going to see into your life. Practical things are going to start happening. Or maybe if you are having certain plans, certain ideas in your mind, which you might going to be working from past many years. Now I will tell you, with the passage of time, Saturn maturity will actually help you or give you platform to execute that plans in front of other people. Now it also depends if some other planets like Rahu and Ketu is also posited with it, because then the maturity age is going to shift to the Rahu and then later to the Ketu. But Saturn, particularly in the third house, 35th and the 36th year, this is going to be the transitional year in front of you. Now it's not necessary that is only the transition which you are going to experience in your career aspect. It might going to be the triggering point of the marriage and the married life aspect. Specifically, if this Saturn in your D1 chart, that is your natal birth chart. Now if, for example, Saturn is forming any sort of connection with the 7th house, 8th house, Lagna, 5th house, even the 10th house. Like if Saturn is forming any sort of aspect over the 7th house of marriage in your D1 chart, and if then Saturn is actually transferred and shifted into the third house of your D9 chart, the Antardasha of the Saturn, now it doesn't matter which Mahadasha you are going through, but if you're coming Antardasha, whenever the Saturn Antardasha is going to hit, this is actually going to be the picking point in your career, and then again the picking point in the marriage and the married life aspect. Even sometimes the Priyantar Dashas of the planet sitting in the third house have the capacity to give you the event of marriage. Apart from this, one more thing, third house is also the representation of the combined efforts. The combined efforts that husband and wife, they are going to make after marriage in order for them to survive in this 21st century, in order to raise their children also, or whatever things you can imagine after marriage they are going to do. It may be purchasing a home, setting some financial goals so that they can financially secure their future, taking certain amount of health insurances, maybe term insurances, or all that parameters of the marriage. who is going to look after the household activities, who is going to earn money, who is going to do this thing, who is going to do that thing. And Saturn in the third house is going to be acting as a very well organized kind of a planet. Although if you are marrying a person with whom that Saturn is in the third house, their mental peace will only come after putting that structure over there. And because of that structure oriented mindset, I need to have these kind of things in these particular areas. I need to home by this age. I need to become this thing by this age. Children must be by this age or this by this age. Saturn most of the time in the third house is going to naturally delay everything in front of you. Whether it comes to marriage, children, everything. But make sure if the dignity of this Saturn is very powerful. Powerful Saturn means sitting in the sign of Capricorn or even Aquarius. Saturn in the Libra is a different story, because then we need to check Venus placement also. But if Saturn in its own zodiac sign, then posited in the third house, this is actually going to give lot of prosperity after having the children. Fifth house is particularly the house of the children, and Saturn going in the third house represents the Bhagya Utpatti, or the rise of luck that is going to happen after obtaining the child. Now, the success that you want to achieve in the next 5 years of your life, the event of childbirth is going to trigger that kind of a thing in front of you, where you have the capacity to actually reach that 5-year goal into that 1-year goal. Or at least in your mindset, you are going to become that much faster, because here the Saturn is a very goal oriented. Like how to achieve that kind of a goals in my life. Because I told you this is that structure that Saturn is going to impose. Now it also totally depends upon your other half planetary alignments as well, depending upon your wife or husband chart. Suppose their third house lord is not very well dignified. And marriage is the combination of both charts. Both husband and wife charts, they are connected with one another. There is going to be huge impact of husband chart over the wife and wife planetary alignments over the husband's life. So because of that connectivity part, this Saturn is keep on changing that security, stability. It may be mental stability, mental peace of mind. But if in the other half chart, if the planets that are not in very well dignified condition in their third house, what is going to happen? Constant amount of change of place you are going to visit in your life. Like 2 to 3 years, you are living there. Then 2 to 3 years, you are living there. Next 2 to 3 years, you are living something else. And this is going to create that cyclic karma. Specifically, if in the Lagna chart, in the D-9 chart, Saturn is retrograde and then posited in the third house, it represents that cyclic motion. Like you are evolving around the same kind of a karmic pattern again and again into your life. Even the very practical remedy or advice that I would like to give all that individuals who is watching this video, and if you are having that Saturn placement in the third house, the very first thing, it doesn't matter what is your age right now, that you need to decide is first of all choose the place. There is no need for you to like go to job, change job, find a job, or where to do the job first of all, or where to get married, where to find a partner. No, there is only one way in which Saturn will bless you with stability, if first of all you are going to decide one place, or decide one city, or decide one environment, one particular city. Like I'm going to stay maybe in Mumbai, Bengaluru, or maybe Texas. Or so once you have decided that thing, now try to plan and organize your life according to that city. Once you decide that place, like I'm going to stay in this particular area, now you need to start finding the opportunities that are present in that area. And then later on start to build your stability factor based upon that particular area where you are staying over there. Changing locations with this Saturn placement in the third house is not going to help you, or changing multiple locations. I have done enough couple consultations. That is why I'm like giving you this prediction. Actually, I have done a lot of male and female charts combining together, and most of the time I've seen like one person is having Saturn in the third house, so they are seeking that stability, and the other person is having some other planets, maybe like air element is associated over there, maybe your air planet, Mercury, planet Venus, even sometimes Jupiter also. So because of them, they are also changing their places. Then this is going to create their splitting career pattern as well, not be able to continue one career for longer duration of time. And that is the second practical advice why that I give to these people is try to take all your work online rather than doing it offline. Because if you are taking most of your work online, then you are having the flexibility and adaptability to work anywhere all across the globe. You just need your laptop, your internet connection with you, and you can function or work anywhere all across the globe. So that is also the second practical solution, that you can actually go with this Saturn placement. One more thing, these people are basically Shiv Upasaks. Lord Shiva is going to have the direct or indirect blessings over these natives. It may be if you look into their Tithi as well. Tithi means the waxing half or the waning half of the moon, like Krishan Paksh or Shukal Paksh. So some Tithis that are ruled by certain planets whose deities and whose nakshatras are ruled by Lord Shiva, or that is going to be very prominent over there, like Ardra, Shukal Paksh or Krishan Paksh Dvitiya, that is the second date of the lunar month. So that connection of this Saturn is going to be prominent in their chart, where these individuals actually have that inner willpower present inside them to control their energies in getting wasted into 10 to 15 different directions. Because the more self-control which you are going to develop with this Saturn, more the quality of your life is going to improve. Rather than focusing upon earning money or like doing this thing or doing 10 to 15 multiple things, you need to start building that self-discipline part that is ruled by Saturn. So more and more you are going to build that discipline part inside you, the more that this Saturn have the capacity to bless you. You remember initially I told you hidden talent or the skill set. So Saturn represents that amount of hard work which you need to put in polishing that skill set. Again and again, no matter the mistakes which you are going through, again and again you need to polish it. So that is very important. Even if Saturn is debilitated, I will tell you, in the sign of Aries, first of all, this is going to slightly disturb the Lagna chart, then D-9 chart. The houses that are controlled by Saturn in that Lagna chart, the sign of Capricorn and the sign of Aquarius, in whichever houses these two zodiac signs are posited, these houses are getting destroyed then. If Saturn particularly is debilitated and having more than 2 malefic aspects over there or sitting with 2 other malefic planets, like Saturn debilitated sitting with Rahu and Sun, then this is a war zone. In that war zone kind of a situation, family satisfaction will not going to come. It may be from your father, from your mother, or both family before marriage or after marriage, satisfaction part from the family will not come. Although this have the capacity to make you successful in the career, but debilitated Saturn in the Navamsha Kundli, there is going to be some severe affliction in the family member's chart. That is why you have received this combination. Then this is going to be reflected over the children's life also. Very difficult to have children. Even having children, then they will face their problems in their marriages as well. So that is going to be a bit tough placement. So I hope you have gained some deep insights with regards to Saturn placement in the 3rd house in this particular video. If you are having any queries, any consultations with regards to your D-9 Navamsha chart, any other marriage, career, spiritual or business consultation, do let me know. I will try my best to respond you back as soon as possible. And whosoever is resembling with this video, please mention below the comments. And please try to share my channel with all your friends and all your family members who are in love with Vedic astrology, and try spreading this knowledge all across the globe. So please subscribe my channel below and make sure to follow me on Instagram as well. And I will try my best to meet you soon as possible. Till then, bye-bye and Har Har Mahadev.